All right, so we may have got the opening that we were looking for here to start to tip this more and more towards us. We had slight tipping, but now hopefully we're going to have a little bit more tipping. So, U.S. bought a bomber, destroyer, 2 fighters. I did goof up. My whole dead zoning C50 season 57 was me thinking the fighters were only 2 away and could come back and land on a carrier, but they're 3 away, so 4 of my fighters can't reach season 57. So this is not dead zoned like I had hoped it would be. So, anyways, he gets to come back here, which means these these transports now can be sacrificed to drop more U.S. over here and create more headache up here. So this is what we're going to hope to counter. So combat move, he did 2 subs, 4 fighters. He took out my destroyer sub that was here. So he lost 1 sub in the doing. He did one bomber, 5 fighters to clear out Kazakh for Russia. And let's see. Oh, yeah, he dropped into the Philippines. Which I really didn't want this, but at least I can grab this infantry, drop him here at the transport, 2 transports. These 8 fighters can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and land back up in C-Zone 60 with my fleet, which is where I'm probably going to end up going to. So we should be able to kill that relatively easy with all those fighters hitting there. And if he got 2 hit backs, which, good gracious, I shouldn't even say it, but now that I said it's probably going to happen, then I'll have to just sacrifice a fighter, unfortunately. But the good news came in that battle in Kazakh. He killed my German infantry and artillery there, but he lost 2 U.S. fighters in doing so. And that means he's down to 4 fighters, 1 bomber up here. And I've got 4 fighters here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 bombers that can all hit there, including my J infantry that's still here. So I can wipe this, and not only that, the downside, the fighters are going to go 1, 2, 3, and then they have to land here. And we already pointed out he's got 4 transports. These fighters go 1, 2, 3, 4, and land in one of these 3 spots. Obviously, he lands here. Again, my fleet's going to be up here. 1, 2, 3. I could potentially counter him with the air I have here, but I'm sure he'll move back and he'll have fighters he can move over and so forth, so forth. So all that's to say, whatever goes here, even if I put my 4 infantry and my a fighter or 2 that live from this battle, they're probably going to end up getting wiped by 4 infantry and 6 fighters. And then those 6 fighters coming up here, ready to do this pivot bit. But since I do have an infantry attacking and we've got overwhelming odds, we can take, with the infantry surviving, 90-some% chance of taking this. So that would mean that those U.S. fighters couldn't land in that spot. And I'm going to lose my 4 fighters anyways for his 4 fighters. So we're doing a 4 fighter for 4 fighter trade, plus with a bonus of a bomber for me, plus starting to make progress on this Northern Asia aspect. Because I say it's progress, because if we move these 4 guys up, if a fighter lives, great. If not, then it's just these 4 guys moving up. There's just these 4 guys moving up. He could still sacrifice these, 4 infantry versus 4 guys, but he's going to need at least throw a couple fighters in there for that shot. In which case, it's probably not, if he does that, then he has to land them here. And I'm going to have my 8 fighters sitting on here, my 3 bombers sitting here that all can hit there. Plus, we're going to have my at least 1 transport back. I may end up building another transport for Japan just for this. But we'll have a transport that we could hit here and then all these fighters. So we could potentially wipe out those 6 fighters. So he may not want to use his fighters hit here. So he may end up land those fighters up here, land his infantry. So he have 5 infantry and his 7 fighters, 5 infantry, 7 fighters sitting there. I would have 4 infantry here and then my Air Force. And so I'm not sure exactly how that pans out, but that feels like that's still in my favor. 15 excuse me, 11 of my fighters plus 4 infantry versus 12 guys total. I feel like all together would be a positive battle, and it'd clean out, it'd finish out the cleanup up here. It also means, you know, those are his last 2 transports, right? We're going to kill this one. He doesn't have any here, so if he uses those transports up here, he's all out of transports. He's got to rebuild and then, you know, come back again. So I feel like we're going to make progress here, is what all that's to say. The downside is, even if I move my 6th Infantry Artillery in here and I brought all my tanks down in here with my bomber, if he puts, because of, you know, my lack of pressure on Moscow, then he puts everything, all his fighters into here, and that leads him to, you know, he doesn't need all these fighters. He could put them all down here, and then I could not break them. So Germany's just going to have to continue just to live while Japan continues to grow and start to take out some of the Russians' income, hopefully decrease the support from the U.S. so that then we can start pushing a little more towards this. Just killing those 4 fighters will be a nice blow to the defense of Moscow in general. Unfortunately, even with killing those 4, even if I targeted these guys going 10, 11, 12, even if I targeted a G12 or a G11, it's still only like a 40% chance for me, I think. So in any case, we're going to keep playing the long game here regardless and just see how we do. And yeah. I guess so. Russia bought the 6th Infantry as expected. Took Kaza, took Arch up there. So we're just going to build maximum ground we can, because we're going to have to defend back here in Berlin. We're going to continue to, we're going to pull our tanks back, try to push as many infantry as we can forward still. But it's going to get smaller now, unfortunately. And meanwhile, we're going to continue to try to trickle this way until we can build up pressure this direction as well. Hopefully I'm going to put enough here that he doesn't decide to airstrike it, so that it just becomes stable. And then we're just sitting here. If we go here 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 14, 15, I don't know. At this point, it's just a, I'm not calculating that far out type of deal. So here we go. I almost just want to do 2 infantry, and if I lose, retreat. If I lose 1, retreat. So as not to put the artillery out there. You know, maybe 1 lost infantry isn't as big of a deal, but I can protect my infantry, or protect my artillery. You know, I mean, that's still, I mean, it's like a 50-50, right? No, actually, slightly my favor. I think we might give that a go this turn. Let's just save the artillery. See if we can take it with a infantry attack there, and if not, we'll retreat. Try to keep my power up, attack power up if we can. I'm probably overthinking this game. I am not gonna lie, way too much. Unlikely. Well, we're gonna roll the dice a little bit today, I think. And Very good. Alright, well that changes my plans. I was pulling it thin intentionally. Rats. Alright, I'm due for an infantry hit now. There we go. I'll take it. Northwest Europe, though, unfortunately means one less guy I can move forward because I got Protect Berlin. Just a little bit better now than I was planning on doing it. So now he's going to have, what, 5 infantry, artillery, tank, 4 fighters still? 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure these guys can't hit. 4 fighters, the bomber, the battleship, the cruiser. And let's see here. That leaves him a 30% chance. We might risk that 30% chance still. Or I only move 3 ahead. Maybe I'll just move to 3. I'll save 1 back. 30% is a little bit bigger than I'd like to give him on Berlin. I think that keeps it down like 12, 10, 15%, something like that. Yeah, like 15% if I leave 1 back. We'll leave 1 back. Not what I'd hoped to do. Alright, we got 7 coming in. I need to keep some back to triangulate back to Karelia next turn. This turn he's a little bit weaker because he's 7 fighters here, but if he puts these back in Moscow, then Karelia is going to be in a deeper trouble again, so I'm going to need to be able to shuffle tanks around again. So we're going to keep 2 back so we can shuffle those tanks up there if we need to. But put as much pressure on here as we can. He can defend it, but at least make him keep fighters down here is my idea. Alright, so what we got coming here? So we got 27 plus 7 infantry coming in, correct? So we'll have 34 infantry there. We'll have our 18 artillery and a couple tanks. So we can push some of these guys out of here. Let's see. I'll push 3 extra guys that way. So that gives me 49, 51, 30, 45, 49, 51. Infantry. see. Yeah, I think we're going to go that route. So yeah, so unfortunately we had to cut down our number moving forward. But we still built 6 on the front line, 3 coming forward. He's only going to build 5 next turn, and then hopefully we can start dwindling that down to a 5 regularly, plus 2 fighters. We can start cutting the US off, so hopefully we can start turning the edge a little bit here. All right, there we go.